Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was spotted hiking Camelback Mountain over the weekend.
He's a healthy guy, no surprise there, but what he was wearing is causing some chatter on the internet. Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins us live now with more.
Hey there, Ellen and John. Well, hikers I spoke to say RFK Jr. was probably the last person they were expecting to see right here on the Echo Trail side of Camelback Mountain. Not only is it a super strenuous hike, but also he was wearing jeans.
Really made my day. It was very cool.
It's a meeting Matt Larson will never forget. On Saturday, he went hiking Camelback Mountain in the morning. Then something or someone caught his eye.
I noticed what appeared to be a senior. I didn't have my contacts in, so I couldn't see very well, but he had a group of people around him and they were very close to him. And I thought he must have had an issue like a fall or like heat stroke.
As they were walking down the Echo side of the trail, Larson walked up to offer some water.
I noticed that the older person was talking politics to the people rescuing him. And I remember thinking, oh, leave it to an old white kind of boomer guy to be talking about politics on his potential deathbed.
Then the pieces started falling together.
Whoa, is that RFK?
He asked the men with the health secretary, which he then realized were security, for a selfie. Larson says Kennedy himself snapped this photo.
It was about 92, I think, temperature-wise at that point. So very impressive for him to have done that at his age.
Online, RFK Jr. posted this photo on his X page at the summit, garnering some admiration and some criticism for both the denim dad jeans attire.
Thinking that wouldn't be my choice of hiking apparel in this weather.
And the heat outside.
It is a little bit risky to be hiking if you're not acclimated to our weather.
Hiker Derek Keller, who took this selfie with Kennedy and a friend, said they met him around 6 in the morning when he first started up the trail. They said the weather wasn't too bad and that they even chatted with him for a few minutes too. For Matt, he says politics aside, he's still in disbelief over the chance encounter on the hard hike.
I let a couple of my friends know that, I didn't know if you know, but RFK is actually in better shape than you.
Yeah, it seems like he is certainly in really, really good health for his age. Now, we also reached out to HHS communications team, and we were asking them if Kennedy was here for a business purpose, and we have yet to hear back. Reporting live here in Phoenix, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
6:04 now this morning, and overnight, DPS cancels the first ever Turquoise Alert activated in Arizona. Now, you may have received that alert on your phone last night. It was activated on behalf of the Hawaii Police Department. They were looking for a 6-year-old girl who was with her non-custodial mom in violation of a court order. They were last seen at Sky Harbor Airport on July 12th. And this is the first Turquoise Alert issued in Arizona since Governor Hobbs did sign the measure into law earlier this summer. It was written with indigenous people in mind, but it can be used for anyone that meets the following criteria, and you can follow along here on the screen. That person would be a missing person under the age of 65. Investigators have exhausted all other available local resources. The person has gone missing under unexplained or suspicious circumstances. The missing person is in danger or with someone who is potentially dangerous. And if public information could assist in the safe recovery of that missing person. It's not clear if the girl and her mother have been found. We are working to get some more details and hopefully as to why that alert was canceled. And when we get that, of course, we'll share it with you.
A developing story that we are following this morning, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is asking the public for help identifying someone they say who drowned in an apartment complex pool. This is an artist's depiction of the victim, described as a teenager, young man, about 5'6", 184 pounds. Also has a non-surgical scar on his left thigh. He was pulled from the pool near 55th Avenue and Indian School Road back on July 6th. If you have any information, if you recognize that rendering, you're asked to contact Phoenix Police or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
And developing tonight, a series of cyber tips leads to the arrest of an employee at Phoenix Children's Hospital on charges of sexual exploitation of minors.
And Fox 10's Nicole Krasean is live now with the details of the arrest and also reaction from a parent, Nicole, who says the news is sickening.
Yeah, that's right, John and Ellen. Today, I spoke with a mother of 7 children, 3 of whom are special needs. She tells me that they practically live at Phoenix Children's Hospital with how often they travel up from Maricopa to receive care. Now, she says after hearing this news, she's going to have her guard up a little bit more about who's interacting and treating her children. We want to warn you, the details of this case are graphic and upsetting.
It is disturbing. I'm glad he got caught. I'm glad that, he's out of there.
Darla Heitch says finding out a former behavioral health tech at Phoenix Children's was arrested for 9 counts of sexual exploitation of children leaves her with a ton of questions.
Being that my son goes there so much and he's there often without me, because especially when he's on the behavioral unit, parents cannot be there. We don't see what goes on. We see, how they react to us and talk to us to our face, but we don't know what's going on behind doors.
Court docs show J.D. Patel was arrested on July 17th after police found what they described as a, quote, significant amount of child porn on his laptop after receiving multiple cyber tips.
Showing children being raped and other acts of children engaging in sexual exploitive manners. In addition, the defendant was also seeking child pornography. So the state is concerned the defendant has had access to children, and his behavior is quite concerning.
Court docs reveal Patel allegedly spoke about his job at the Children's Hospital while seeking out child sexual material. Heitch says she doesn't want to throw Phoenix Children's under the bus, as she has taken her kids there for years, and it remains her main option for her son's health care needs.
So I'm going to be going there, but I know I'm going to be looking and listening more, my eyes open more, asking around, getting more recommendations, I guess, and learning more about the doctors.
She says one alleged criminal doesn't take away from the good the hospital does, but this arrest has shaken her trust.
I'm wondering how long he has actually been there. Why did it take this long to get caught? Why is it so easy for people like this to get near our children?
Now Patel has a $100,000 cash-only bond with electronic monitoring, and if he does make bond, he is to have no contact with any victims or witnesses, and especially no contact with minors.
Yeah, Nicole, this doesn't diminish the incredible work that PCH does, but it is troubling. And what is the hospital saying about this?
Yeah, so we sent a line of questions to them today when we heard this news. We wanted to know how long Patel had worked at the hospital. We wanted to know about the hiring process for behavioral health techs in his role, what kind of interactions he has with children in his role, as well as when the hospital found out about his arrest and when his employment was terminated. We also asked for an interview with the hospital, and instead we got a statement. So I'm going to read that to you now. That statement says, quote, "The safety of our patients and their families is our top priority. In accordance with our policies, we conduct thorough background checks during the pre-employment screening process and on regular intervals for current employees. This individual is no longer employed with us, and we are in full cooperation with law enforcement officials." So we will continue to follow Patel's journey through the court system and this disturbing case as it unfolds. Reporting live tonight in Phoenix, Nicole Krasean, Fox 10 News.
And 2 wildfires continue to burn in northern Arizona without much containment tonight.
The White Sage Fire and the Dragon Bravo Fire were caused by lightning strikes and fueled by windy, dry conditions out there. The Dragon Bravo Fire on the north rim of the Grand Canyon has caused the most damage. It's grown to over 12,000 acres and is only 2% contained. It forced the evacuation of the entire north rim and has destroyed over 70 buildings, including the historic North Rim Lodge.
The other big wildfire, called the White Sage Fire, it's burned more than 58,000 acres near Jacob Lake, but new containment numbers are up tonight to 31%, and no structures have burned there so far. Evacuation orders remain in place for all around the lake, and parts of Highway 89A remain closed as well. Governor Hobbs called for an investigation into the Dragon Bravo fire last week, but today she had a bit of a different tune.
Nicole Krasean joins us in studio with a closer look at the governor's changing attitude. Nicole.
That's right. Governor Hobbs wasting no time last weekend to call for a thorough and independent investigation into that initial emergency response to the Dragon Bravo fire. But this morning, she had a different message.
I was encouraged to hear that this is a priority for the federal government to get that kind of mitigation done as quickly as possible.
A week ago, the governor demanding answers and calling for a federal inquiry. In that statement, Hobbs said, quote, Arizonans deserve answers for how the fire was allowed to decimate the Grand Canyon National Park. She also mentioned that the federal government, quote, managed the fire as a controlled burn during the driest, hottest part of the summer. Now, Hobbs not the only Arizona politician to speak up, as Senators Ruben Gallego and Mark Kelly penned a joint letter to the U.S. Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum, voicing concern that, quote, treatment and response decisions may have affected the spread of fire in northern Arizona, and not for the first time. Now, Gallego and Kelly are referencing the 2006 Warm Fire, another lightning-caused fire on the North Rim that was allowed to burn as a wildland use fire. The Warm Fire went on to destroy 59,000 acres of land and nearly killed 1,000 people.
I'm not an expert, and I'm not second-guessing anyone's choices. I think we have to make sure that regardless of this being federal land or not, we have a shared stewardship, and that we are doing everything we can to protect these resources and how we respond to crises like this.
Yeah, so just last week she wanted a thorough investigation. Now she doesn't want to second guess any choices. Last week she was literally second guessing choices.
Yes, and we had that question. We wanted to raise that question to her and her team. So we reached out to her office asking for clarification. We wanted to know, had she received any new information this week that maybe changed her mind, led to a change in this messaging? Her office responding saying there was no change in messaging and that she remains concerned about the decision making, but that she also is not going to second guess decisions until she has more information. Speaking of getting more information, we do know Governor Hobbs is traveling to D.C. this week. She's going to be meeting with Secretary Burgum, other officials, talking about this. So we'll see what kind of messaging comes out of that. We also understand a lot of people at home following along care a lot about these fires, but a lot of this political talk might be a little confusing. So we have a breakdown on all of this, the timeline, the responses on our website, fox10phoenix.com. You can check it out and kind of get the latest on the political response and the firefight, of course, because these fires are still burning, especially the Dragon Bravo fire.
Long way to go.
Barely contained. So
thanks, Nicole.
Yeah, of course.
A search for a valley fisherman who went missing in the Salt River sadly ends in tragedy.
Fox 10's Nicole Krasean joins us live with what we know right now. Nicole?
Yeah, it's a really sad story. The search didn't last too long before they were able to find Trevor Adams' body. His wife says he got done with work early Monday, so he headed to their favorite fishing spot, but the worry set in when he didn't come home last night.
My husband is very patterned and predictable. So I knew something was wrong when I hadn't heard from him.
Nicole Nichols describes her husband, Trevor Adams, as hardworking and a fan of the outdoors.
Told him he needed a hobby because he worked so much, so he picked up fishing. So when he does have downtime, he comes out here. We come out here to fish. Every now and then he comes along.
That's what Adams was doing Monday night near the Sheep's Crossing recreation site along the Salt River. Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies' search for Adams ended in tragedy today after his body was found a couple hundred yards from where he was fishing. When speaking to Fox 10 before her husband's body was found, Nichols said he was familiar with the area, leading her to question how he could go missing.
From the spot where his gear was to the spot where we usually go, it's maybe 75 feet, 100 feet at the most. So it's really unusual. I don't know what happened in that period of time with him just walking around and he just disappeared.
Oh, it's just heartbreaking to see that video of her after she found out that his body had been found. The sheriff's office says there were no signs of foul play, and while the circumstances leading up to Adams' death are unknown at this time, MCSO did share a reminder for all visitors to the Salt River to make sure they have a life jacket with them when near the water. Reporting in studio, Nicole Krasean, Fox 10 News.